Hello, and welcome to another wonderful practical episode of Learning with Jerome, the podcast where we both learn about how to build a business, invest, and ultimately a magnificent life with incomplete information and incomplete understanding. Yes, I'm talking about entity system that thrive by capitalizing and using disorder cluster such as mistakes, errors, time, the unknown, uncertainty has fuel for improvement. I am your host Jerome Gassa from optionalityprofit.com. I have another exciting, insightful, practical episode to share with you. After all, a little bit of agitation gives motivation to the soul, and what really makes the species prosper is not peace so much as freedom. And from the same line, my mentor, the magnificent and best risk analyst alive today, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, put it best this way: this is one life's packages. There is no freedom without noise and no stability without volatility. Welcome to you, guy. It is not what you know that makes you knowledgeable and rigorous. It is the type of mistake that you don't make. Let us dive in. When we look at event, we tend to look at causes that are visible to us. We don't look at the symmetry, meaning the things that are not obvious and salient to us. Yes, history tends to kill a lot of information that was not deemed relevant at the time. Just as if you want to know the cause to become multimillionaire, you will hear beautiful, well-crafted and compelling words of self-appointed consultant and expert out there, data scientists also. They'll purport that risk-taking and hard-working are necessary. After all, almost all rich people took risk and work hard. But it doesn't mean that taking risk and working hard make you successful, unless if you take the symmetry of bankrupt people and force them to write their biography. You will discover that they share the same traits, meaning the same attributes. Therefore, here are the big ideas to be taken. Very short, but very profound. Taking risks and working hard are necessary to become rich, and also a source to become bankrupt. And you only see the winners, not the loser. Hence, the second big takeaway: history is written by the winners, not by the losers. Yeah, you see every consultant out there selling their own program, they'll just be featuring people who did well, even themselves. And remember, self-deception. We humans, we are very good. Even if we had a bad years, we will hide it to ourselves, right? Yes, history is written by the winners, not by the losers. And third, the answer here is simple and easy. I'm giving you now the answer. A system with small mistake doesn't have a high ratio of bankruptcy. Why? Most people out there are unconditionally afraid of failure without conditioning what type of system they are in or what type of failure it is. Remember, by the way, there are two types of mistake. There are mistakes that cause turmoil and harmful. In another word, it sinks the ship. And there are mistakes that are small and used as fuel for improvement, right? And this is something most experts won't tell you, in a sense where they themselves, they don't know a lot of things about risk, right? They're just saying maybe risk is just about blowing up. A risk can be, for example, missing an opportunity or losing an investment, right? You invest in a program or you buy a program somewhere, but they usually are not crystal clear or put things in a clear way, in a sense where any single, even a lay person can take it and use it right away, in a sense where it can be helpful. They just talk about mistake without, as I said before, unconditionally, as I said, people are unconditionally afraid of failure without conditioning what type of mistake they are in and what type of failure it is. Just to repeat myself. And fourth, which is even vastly more important, is that most experts and consultants out there are selling programs of how to get rich quick scheme by conflating absence of evidence with evidence of absence. In another word, they are conflating benefit with absence of risk, right? Which is just like discussing growth without concern for fragility. Another way of saying it, it is like studying construction without thinking of collapses. My point here, and the big takeaway here, is think like an engineer, not like a consultant or an economist or an expert out there who basically will give you knowledge. And keep in mind, positive knowledge is transitory. Wisdom doesn't change, it remains. And Warren Buffett put it well this way: you cannot succeed if you cannot survive. Hence, the first and foremost things you should think about is about robustness of your system that you are building. And yes, this is the reason why business robust strategy will not be released by the beginning of February, but by the end of January 2017, which is what a lot of people have been asking: how to build a robust system in a world that has become more complex, more random, more uncertain, which imply there are more mistakes. And just because there are a lot of mistakes means we can benefit also from those mistakes, right? Because remember what I gave in one of the episodes. I said, if you don't like time, that means you don't like mistakes, you don't like errors, you don't like volatility, you don't like variation, you don't like incomplete information, you don't like incomplete understanding, you don't like entropy, you don't like the unknown. And keep in mind, time brings volatility, time brings mistakes. In another, if you have a system that is set up in terms of prediction, hence knowledge, as soon as there is an error, the system collapses. But the type of system we are building are a system that allowed mistakes can occur, which are controlled, recycled, and used as fuel for improvement, right? And lastly, life is not about getting predictions right. It is about knowing how to navigate the environment and controlling it. And this is, by the way, the title of the next podcast. Thank you, guys. It was an honor to serve you. And see you tomorrow for the next podcast. Great. Apply this gemstone on a continuous basis in your life. Not only you experience and feel, be in charge of your life, and most importantly, you start also to feel what we call a duty life. You are a magnificent. Hey friends, it's Jerome. I hope you enjoy this episode. Do to both of us 2 favors. Number 1, please subscribe in this channel by clicking the red button subscribe. So by joining me, you continue to get update every time I release a new training for you. Second, if you want to increase your productivity by 50% every single week, yes, you heard it right, 50% increase of your productivity every single week, and want to achieve your goals, your dream, in a much faster and easier and simpler way, you and I know it requires a new thinking, a new paradigm shift, a new set of ritual, a new set of habit, a new set of pattern. So your entire approach must be based on convex experimentation. In order to make that possible, just go ahead and click the link below. It is Optionality Profit, and download this guide for free.